here.
We're here.
We're ready to read a wonderful short story.
A wonderful short story. Okay, by the way, we're hot micing. Candy camera is on. The camera's right there. This was your idea, by the way. I have no idea what I'm in for. I like well and truly don't.
You never read The Eye of Argon?
I have never even heard of it prior to this, frankly. I did a quick Google search, and apparently this is rather infamous for reasons I was not familiar with.
Yes. So you're in for a treat.
An unforgettable luncheon.
Yes.
The legend.
So that's...
Hi, Sonny.
There's the text. There's the text that we are going to be delving into today.
Oh, I'm a little scared. Hi, Sonny. Hi, how you doing?
My goal is to talk as much like a large language model as possible, so I'm trying to use the word delve.
Language model as possible. Just a chat GPT. Oh boy. Okay.
You know, it's not just mimicry. It's a stylistic choice.
Oh, obviously. We're just not gonna laugh. Is that it? Is try not to laugh challenge featuring busty wenches?
We're going to fail I'm going to fail the try not to laugh challenge in literally the first paragraph.
Your friend is quite a bit louder than I am. Let me turn them down a little bit. There we go. They were at like fucking I don't even know 200%. I was trying to finagle this. Okay, say something. You're about at the same level of decibel as I am. Oro also does not have like the fancy mic setup that I have. Keep in mind, so like I might kind of be like...
Yeah, I've got a microphone on my desk. Hell yeah.
Can't be me, man. I got a Go XLR. I got an XLR. It's plugged into my XLR. Did I mention I have an XLR microphone? I got some tea and crumpets. I'm so ready. Oh, I'm just feeling a little British today. Oh, I'm just simply styling digger. All right. I don't know. So this is not a fan fiction, right? Or something? This was submitted to like a fanzine, if I have that correctly?
Yeah, this is just a short story.
Okay.
It has a chapter 3.5, which is
chapter 3.5, you say? Oh, wow. Hey, that is an interesting Fugi reactive you got there. You are taking up my entire screen. Hey, down in front, buddy. I don't know why it's this big. Oh, I didn't know why it's this big.
I'm just,
I had a collab yesterday. I had a collab yesterday, and like everyone is here. Why am I not moving? Hello, everyone. Hello, every pony. Wave to the class, Oro.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Why did you introduce yourself? Are there gays in this? Besides for the ones reading it? Excuse me. Oh my god. Okay. All right, Oro. Red pill me on this because you are actually red pilling me on this. I'm in the dark.
I feel like the best way to explain this is to just start reading. I'm going to be real with you.
Really?
So, The Eye of Argon is a short story by Jim Tice, who nobody knows if this is a real person. Nobody knows if this was like a genuine submission or if it was a shitpost.
It was a shitpost.
But this was written in the 1970s. And it is a pulpy, like Conan the Barbarian style.
Oh, so the dungeon synth is perfect, actually.
Yeah, so it's like a pulpy adventure story.
Oh, this is gonna be great. I'm so excited.
Starring Grigner the Barbarian.
Excuse me?
Grigner, spelled Grignr.
I kind of don't even want to try pronouncing that, actually. That is very suspicious.
So, I think the biggest thing to do is decide, do you want to be Grigner or do you want to be the narrator?
Which do you want to be? I don't know. Which one says Grignor more? I feel like I might walk into like a fucking wall with a slur.
The narrator definitely says Grigner more.
It sounds like a joke character I'd make for D&D. You're Grignor.
Yes. This The story is also infamous for having like a lot of interesting spelling mistakes.
Oh, okay,
kind of
lovely.
weird. And I want to be as faithful as I can to the spelling mistakes while reading the narration.
You know what? You can be the narrator. I'll be Grignor. Welcome to independent reading time. You know what? I'm just gonna make this a new block, right? My gimmick already is I play bad games and do play dumb shit posts. Why not? Fridays, bad fiction Fridays. Why the fuck not? Who cares, right? Who cares? Bang, Grignor. That's right. Oh, okay. Oh boy.
Yes, Bang Grignor.
Bang Grignor.
So it's actually not. It's not Grignor. It's Grignor.
Grignor.
There's no vowel between the N and the R.
Pissed Dave, who's your friend? This is Oro, the Piss Wizard. Say hello.
Hello.
Yes, in order to pass.
I take issue with this. I'm not the Piss Wizard. Actually, I'm the Kidney Stone Wizard.
The Kidney Stone Wizard.
More
my
difficult
bad.
to
My
piss.
bad. You respect. I don't know. This was not something I was familiar with.
No. I've never had a kidney stone. I inflict them on other people.
Oh, my bad. You know what's fucking funny? Both my brother, my uncle, and my father have all had like really awful violent bouts of kidney stones, so I am almost certainly going to get kidney stones in like the next 12 years or so. Actually,
yeah.
Hey, fun fact. My father passed a kidney stone on his honeymoon with my mother. Actually, they went to I forget where it was. I think it was upstate New York, and the whole ride he's just completely taciturn, just not saying anything. And when he gets to the hotel, he just goes dink, and pisses out a kidney stone. First thing as he does, he gets to the fucking hotel.
My understanding of kidney stones is that they are the most painful thing that a human being can experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Having not experienced one, I'm hoping I do not experience this. I had a roommate in college who had kidney issues and got kidney stones constantly and the prescription from his doctor was just you have to drink 2 to 3 gallons of water a day just for the rest of your life.
Are you serious?
That is how you avoid this. Yes.
That is insane.
Multiple gallons of water.
That is ludicrous. What if I walked in on independent reading time, Milk?
Independent reading time. Hell yeah.
Welcome to Bad Fiction Fridays.
Anyway, this meant that if he had to piss in the middle of the night, the bathroom was just destroyed.
It was obliterated.
Yeah,
that thing was fucking gone.
If I got up in the morning, just the entire toilet area was sticky and yellow
okay.
from him pissing over a gallon of water.
Oh my god! Wow.
Now, to his credit, he was a pretty good roommate. And other than this, and he would always clean up after himself when he woke up. So I can't be too mad at him. I had a real medical condition, but
yeah.
very unfortunate for me. Waking up and just going into the bathroom and there's a piss toilet.
There's a piss toilet. Jesus tap dancing Christ! My dad almost died from a kidney stone. This is scaring me. I'm getting visions of a dark future now. Can we just read the fucking funny thing? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna explode.
All right. I'm gonna begin reading the Eye of Argon. This is the Eye of Argon, chapter 1.
I'm so ready.
The weather-beaten trail wound ahead into the dust-racked climes of the barren land, which dominates large portion of the Mongolian Empire.
Oh no!
Age-worn hoofprints smothered by the sifting sands of time shone dully against the dust-splattered crust of Earth. The tireless sun cast its parching rage of incandescence from overhead, halfway through its daily revolution. Small rodents scampered about, occupying themselves in the daily accomplishments of their dismal lives. Dust sprayed over 3 heaving mounts and blinding clouds while they bore the burdensome cargoes of their struggling overseers.
Okay, that was almost pretty good, and then it just gave up. That kind of it is okay. Ahem. Is this
Prepare to embrace your creators in the Stygian haunts of hell, barbarian, gasped the first soldier.
Only after you have kissed this. Okay, no, we're not doing the Schwarzenegger thing. I'm not doing the bit. What do I just do my regular voice? What's this guy's voice?
Do whatever you want. It's Grigner the Barbarian.
Grigner
just
the
play him
Barbarian.
like you would in D&D.
Only after you have kissed the fleeting thread of death, wretch. No, we're not doing that either. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I'll fucking figure it out. He's just like 8 guys.
Returned Grigner. A sweeping blade of flashing steel riveted from the massive barbarian's hide enameled shield as his rippling right arm thrust forth, sending a steel-shod blade to the hilt of the soldier's vital organs.
Ooh.
The disemboweled mercenary crumpled from his saddle and sank to the clouded sward, sprinkling the parched dust with crimson droplets of escaping life fluid.
Life fluid.
I'll show you my escaping life fluid. That's the sound of the life fluid. The enthused barbarian swiveled about, his shock of fiery red hair tossing robustly in the humid air currents as he faced the attack of the defeated soldier's fellow in arms. "Damn you, barbarian!" shrieked the soldier as he observed his comrade in death. A gleaming scimitar smote a heavy blow against the renegade's spiked helmet, bringing a heavy cloud over the accordion's misting brain.
Sorry.
Shaking off the effects of the pounding blow to his head, Grigner brought down his scarlet-streaked edge against the soldier's crudely forged hauberk, clinging armlessly to the left side of his opponent. The soldier's stead, my bad, whinnied as he directed the horse back from the driving blade of the barbarian. Grigner leashed his mount forward as he as the hoarsely piercing battle cry of the wilderness-bred race resounded from his grinding lungs.
There was not a single comma in there. There was not a single comma.
A twirling blade bounced harmlessly from the mighty thief's buckler as his rolling right arm cleft upward, sending a foot of blinding steel ripping through the Cimmerian's exposed gullet. A gasping gurgle from the soldier's writhing mouth as he tumbled to the golden sand at the feet and wormed agonizingly in his deathbed. Grigner's emerald green orbs glared lustfully at the wallowing soldier struggling
Fucking
toward his
what?
chestnut swirled mouth.
What? What?
His scowling voice reverberated over the dying form in a tone of mocking mirth.
You city-bred dogs should learn not to antagonize your better!
Reining his weary mount ahead, Grigner resumed his journey to the Noragolian city of Gorzam, hoping to discover wine, women, and adventure to boil the wild blood coursing through his savage veins.
Oh, fuck yeah!
The trek to Gorzam. The trek to Gorzam was forced upon Grigner, where the soldiers of Kryn were leashed upon him by a faithless concubine he had wooed. His scandalous activities throughout the Cimmerian city had unleashed throngs of havoc and uproar among Ida's refined patricians, leading them to tack a heavy reward over his head. He had barely managed to escape through the back entrance of the inn he had been guzzling in, as a squad of soldiers pounced upon him. After spilling a spout of blood from the leader of the mercenaries as he dismembered one of the officer's arms, he retreated to his mount to make his way toward Gorzam, rumored to contain hordes of plunder and many young wenches for any man who has the backbone to wrest them away.
Oh, good heavens. We got any fine wenches in chat right now? Girdle your loins, gentlemen. Blood, you mean life fluid. Yeah, get it right.
Yes, life fluid. Yes, this is the author's mistake. The author is not being consistent about the life fluid.
You're right. Listening, learning, doing better.
In Chapter 1, beginning of Chapter 2. Arriving after dusk in Gorzam, Grigner descended down a dismal alley, reining his horse before a beaten tavern. The red-haired giant strode into the dimly lit hostelry, reeking of foul odors and cheap wine. The air was heavy with choking fumes spewing from smoldering torches encased within Thaden's earthen-packed walls. Tables were clustered with groups of drunken thieves and cutthroats tossing dice or making love to willing
Just on the
prostitutes.
table! Just on the table. All right.
Just hanging out. My favorite thing about this is that Grigner is like a green-eyed ginger.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's fucking Ragvold from Fear and Hunger. Oh my god. Fear and Hunger mentioned.
It's Funger time. It's Fungin time.
Oh yeah. I love it when
Who up Fungin they gur.
I love Fear and Hunger, dude. I fucking love how like outlandishly comically evil that game is.
Eyeing a slender female crouched alone at a nearby bench, Grigner advanced, wishing to wholesomely occupy his time. I'm imagining that he wants to play like
Yeah, he's just playing Uno. He's just playing Uno. Oh, shit.
You know, wholesome.
Wholesome.
The flickering torches cast weird shafts of luminescence dancing over the half-naked harlot of his choice, her stringy orchid twines of hair swaying gracefully over the lithe opaque nose as she raised a half-drained mug to her pale red lips.
What?
Her stringy orchid twines of hair.
Oh, silly me. Right, yeah.
Her lithe opaque nose.
Oh, yeah, you can see right through it. Sorry.
No, opaque means you can't see through it. It's solid.
Oh, my bad.
Her lips are both pale and red as well.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Glancing upward, the alluring complexion noted the stalwart giant as he rapidly approached.
It's just like fucking Andre the Giant sized. It's built like a fucking fighting game grappler or something.
I'm imagining the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs police running.
Exactly.
For like the rapid approach. A faint glimmer sparked from the pair of deep blue ovals of the amorous female as she motioned toward Grigner, enticing him to join her. The barbarian seated himself upon a stool at the wench's side, exposing his body, naked save for a loincloth, brandishing a long steel broadsword, an iron-spiraled battle helmet, and thick leather sandals for her unobstructed view.
Yeah. Oh, I got this. Oh,
yeah.
I'm girl voice time, gentlemen.
Hast thou need to occupy your time, barbarian?
Questioned the female.
Only if it's something worth offering within my reach.
What is that voice?
I don't fucking know.
Okay. Stated Grigner as his hands crept to embrace the tempting female, who welcomed them with open willingness.
From whence do you come, barbarian, and for what are you called?
Gasped the complying wench as Grigner smothered her lips with the blazing touch of his flaming mouth. The engrossed titan ignored the queries of the inquisitive female, pulling her towards him and crushing her sagging nipples to his yearning chest.
What?
Without struggle, she gave in, winding her soft arms around the harshly bronzed hide of Grigner, corded shoulder blades, as his calloused hands caressed her firm, protruding bust.
Busts, plural. You make love well, wench.
Admitted Grigner as he reached for the vessel of potent wine his charge had been quaffing. A flying foot caught the mug Grigner had taken hold of, sending its blood-red contents sloshing over a flickering crescent, leashing tongues of bright orange flame to the foot-trodden floor. "Remove yourself, sirrah! The wench belongs to me!" blabbered a drunken soldier, too far consumed by the influences of his virile brew to take note of the superior size of his adversary. Grigner lithely bounded from the startled female, his face lit up to an ashen red ferocity, his eyes locked in searing feral blaze toward the swaying soldier.
To hell with you, Brian!
Bellowed the angered accordion as he hefted his finely honed broadsword.
I can't get over that. It's just like it was like fucking like playing polka music or something. When he talks, is that it?
The staggering soldier clumsily. No, that's his nationality is. Accordion. Yeah, it's accordion. Yeah,
of course. Why, silly me.
See, there's some of the word choices in here really do make me think this is an elaborate shitpost.
I do not know, man. I will reserve my judgment for the end.
The staggering soldier clumsily reached toward the pommel of his dangling sword, but before his hands ever touched the oaken hilt, a silvered flash was slicing the heavy air. My bad.
My bad.
The thews of the savage's lashing right arm bulged from the glistening bronzed hide as his blade bit deeply into the soldier's neck, loping off the confused head of his senseless tormentor. With a nauseating thud, the severed oval toppled to the floor as the segregated torso of Grigner's bovine antagonist swayed and collapsed in a pool of swirls.
Was he shaped like a fucking minotaur? Is that what I'm getting?
In the confusion, the soldiers' fellows confronted Grigner with unsheathed cutlasses directed towards the latter's scowling makeup.
Okay. Oh, good heavens. I don't know if I can read this. The slut should have picked his quarry. Is he calling him the slut? Okay. The slut should have picked his quarry more carefully.
Roared the victor in a mocking baritone growl as he wiped his dripping blade on the prostrate form and returned it to his scabbard.
This first should have shown me more prudence, however.
No, this isn't Grigner.
Oh, my bad.
The fool should have showed more prudence. However, you shall rue your actions while rotting in the pits, stated one of the sprawled soldier's comrades. Grigner's hand began to remove his blade from its leather housing, but retarded the motion in face of the blades waving before his face.
Yo, what did you just say?
Dismiss your hand from the hilt, barbarian, or you shall find a foot of steel sheathed in your gizzard. Grigner weighed his position, observing his plight. Whereupon he took the soldier's advice as the only logical choice. To attempt to hack his way from his present predicament could only warrant certain death. He was of no mind to bring upon his own demise if an alternate path presented itself. The will to necessitate his life forced him to yield to the superior force in hopes of a moment of carelessness later upon... Oh, my bad. It's carlessness. A moment of carlessness later upon the part of his captors in which he could effect a more plausible means of escape.
You may steady your arms. I will go in a struggle.
Your decision is a wise one, yet perhaps you would have been better off had you forced death. The soldier's mouth wrinkled to a sagristic grin of knowing mirth as he prodded his prisoner on his sword point. After an indiscriminate period of marching through slinking alleyways and dim moonlighted streets, the procession confronted a massive seraglio. The palace area was surrounded by an iron grating with a lush garden upon all sides. The group was admitted through the gilded gateway, and Grigner was led along a stone pathway bordered by plush vegetation, lustfully enhanced by the moon shimmering rays. Upon reaching the palace, the group was granted entrance, and after several minutes of explanation, led through several winding corridors to a richly draped chamber. Confronting the group was a short, stocky man seated upon a golden throne. Tapestries of richly draped regal blue silk covered all walls of the chamber, while the steps leading to the throne were plated with sparkling white ivory. The man upon the throne had a naked witch seated at each of his arms.
Oh my, just like
trusted advisor seated in back of him. At each corner of the chamber, a guard stood at attention, with upraised pikes supported in their hands, golden chainmail adorning their torsos, and barred helmets emitting scarlet plumes enshrouding their heads. The man rose from his throne to the dais surrounding it. His plushed turquoise robe dangled loosely from his chunky frame. The soldiers surrounding Grigner fell upon their knees with heads bowed to the stone masonry of the floor in fearful dignity to their sovereign, Lage.
You want this guy or should I do it?
Yeah, do you want to be the emperor? Do you have a good emperor voice?
Oh, I have a fantastic emperor voice. I'm incredible. I'm the man of at least 6 voices, and they're all really good voices. They're all really good impressions, right? Right? Quality, not quantity. Anyways.
Explain the purpose of this intrusion to my chateau.
I believe the picture on the left is the emperor.
Oh, I see. Is that say Rikishi?
I think that's supposed to be the emperor. He's not. No, Jay Rikosh is the artist.
Oh, silly
me! Who supplied the art for the original fanzine?
Bravo! Thank you, Rikishi. Jay Rikishi, Samoan wrestler Jay Rikishi.
Your serenity, resplendent and noble grandeur, we have brought this yokel before you, the soldier gestured towards Grigner, for the redress of your all-knowing wisdom and judgment regarding his fate.
Down on your knees, louting, pay proper homage to your sovereign, Mr.
Commanded
Potter.
the pudgy, commanded the pudgy noble of Grigner. Okay, so he's Alan Rickman, but
Yeah,
like
he's
make
Alan-
him fat. Like just Alan Thickman.
Alan Thickman. Fuck, wait, who's the fucking sniveling vizier? Maybe that should be the sniveling vizier boy. I don't know. You know what? Fuck, it's the same guy. Who the fuck? By the silly beard. What the fuck? By the surly beard of Grignon, yes, no man.
Scowled the massive barbarian.
You dare do this blasphemous act to me, or indeed brave stranger, yet your valor smacks of foolishness. 20 points from Gryffindor.
Grigner's line?
I find you to be the only fool sitting upon your pompous throne, enhancing the rolling flaps of your belly in the midst of your elaborate luxury. And the
soldier standing at Grigner's side smote him heavily in the face with the flat of his sword, cutting short the harsh words and knocking his battered helmet to the masonry with an echoing clang.
Echoing.
The paunchy noble's sagging round face flushed suddenly pale, then hastily lit up to a lustrous cherry-red radiance. His lips trembled with malicious rage while emitting a muffled, sibilant gibberish. His sagging flabs rolled like a tab of upset jelly, and compressed as he sucked in his gut in an attempt to conceal his softness. The prince regained his stature, then spoke to the soldiers surrounding Grigner, his face conforming to an ugly expression of sadistic humor.
Take this uncouth heathen to the vault of misery and ensure that his agonies are long and run out before death can release him.
As you wish, sire. Your command shall be heeded immediately, answered the soldier on the right side of Grigner as he stared into the barbarian's seemingly unaffected face. The advisor seated in the back of the noble slowly rose and advanced to the side of his master, motioning the wenches seated at his side to remove themselves. He lowered his head and whispered to the noble, Should I do the advisor?
Yeah,
or do you want to do the advisor?
You do the advisor,
Eminence, the punishment you have decreed will cause much misery to this scum, yet it will only last a short time. Then release him to a land beyond the sufferings of the human body. Why not mellow him in one of the subterranean vaults for a few days, then send him to a life labor in one of your buried mines? To one such as he, a life spent in the confinement of the Stygian pits will be an infinitely more appropriate and lasting torture.
The noble cupped his drooping double chin in the folds of his brimming palm, meditating for a moment upon the rationality of the counselor's words, then raised his shaggy brown eyebrows and turned towards the advisor, eyes aglow. I think that image may be the advisor, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And then this guy's that makes sense.
Anyway, the
Afghan, as always. As always, Raffend. You speak with great wisdom. Your words ring with great knowledge concerning the nature of one such as he.
Saith the king.
The
The noble turned towards the prisoner with a noticeable shimmer reflecting in his frog-like eyes and his lips contorting to a greasy grin.
Is this me or you? I have
That's you.
decided to void my previous decree. The prisoner shall be removed to one of the palaces of the underground vaults. There he shall stay until I have decided he has sufficiently simmered, whereupon he will be allowed to spend the rest of his days in the labor in one of my mines.
Upon hearing this, Grigner realized that his fate would be far less merciful than death to one such as he, who is used to roaming the countryside at will. A life of confinement would be more than his body and mind could stand up to. This type of life would be immeasurably worse than death.
I shall never understand your ways of twisted civilization. I simply defend my honor. I am condemned to a life of confinement by a pig who sits on his royal ass wooing whores and knows nothing of the affairs of the land he manages to rule. Rick Legner? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Enough of this. Away with this slut before I lose my control.
All right, Boss Nass. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the portrait of the king.
The Emperor.
Seeing the peril of his position, Grigner searched for an opening. Crushing Prudence to the sward, he plowed into the soldier at his left arm, taking hold of his sword, and bounding to the dais, supporting the prince before the startled guards could regain their composure. Agathon leaped at Grigner and his sire, but found a sword blade permeating the length of his ribs before he could loose his weapon. The counselor slumped to his knees as Grigner slid the crimson blade from Agathon's rib cage. The fat prince stood undulating in an insurmountable fear.
Undulating!
Before the edge of the fiery-maned comet, his flabs of jellied blubber pulsating to and fro in ripples of flowing terror.
Raise your wisdom and power now, your majesty.
Majesty, growled Grigner. The prince went rigid as Grigner discerned him glazing over his shoulder. He slived to note the cause of the noble's attention, raised his sword over his head, and prepared to leash a vicious downward cleft, but fell short as the haft of steel-rimmed pike clashed against his unguarded skull. Then blackness and solitude, silence enshrouding an ever-peaceful, reigned supreme.
Who is saying this? Who is saying this?
I think the king.
Before me, sir, before me as always, ha, 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 shoot the glass.
Nobly cackled.
What? Okay. Chapter 3 and a half.
Chapter 3. End of chapter 2, beginning of chapter 3. Consciousness returned to Grigner in stigmatic pools as his mind gradually cleared of the cobwebs cluttering its inner recesses, yet the Stygian cloud of charcoal ebony remained, an incompatible shield of blackness enhanced by the bleak absence of sound. Grigner's muddled brain reeled from the shock of the blow he had received to the base of his skull. The events leading to his predicament were slow to filter back to him. He dickered with the notion as he was dead and had descended or sunk, however it may be, to the shadowed land beyond the aperture of the grave,
It's just
but
like
rejected this hypothesis when his memory sifted back within his grips.
It's just like fingering his foreskin.
This was not the land of the dead. It was something infinitely more precarious than anything the grave could offer. Death promised an infinity of peace, not the finite misery of an inactive life of confined torture, forever concealed from the life-bearing shafts of the beloved rising sun. The orb that had been before taken for granted, yet now cherished above all else. To be forever refused further glimpses of the snow-capped summits of the land of his birth, never again to witness the thrill of plundering unexplored lands beyond the crust of a bleeding horizon, and perhaps worst of all, the denial to ever again encompass the lustful excitement of caressing the naked curves of the body of a trim, yound wench.
You're no bitches! Bitchless
This was indeed one of the buried chasms of hell, concealed within the inner depths of the palace's despised interior. A fearful ebony chamber devised to drive to the brinks of insanity the minds of the unfortunately condemned through the inapt solitude of a limbo of listless, dreary silence.
Is your jaw okay right now? Please get some water.
That's end of chapter 3.
End of chapter 3. Time for 3.5.
Yep, that was a really short chapter. Love chapter 3.
Love chapter 3. Bravo, bravo. We love it.
I'm a big fan of the life bearing shafts of the sun.
Can't live without those, man. Love those shafts. Love the sun shaft, baby.
We love
shafts. We love the shaft. Can't beat the shaft, man.
Can't beat the shaft.
I love a warm shaft on my face in the morning.
Chapter 3.5. A tightly rung elliptical circle or torches cast their wavering shafts prancing morbidly over the smooth surface of a rectangular ridged altar. Expertly chiseled forms of grotesque gargoyles grace the oblique rim, protruding the length of the grim
What?
orifice of death,
Is that real?
staring forever ahead into nothingness in complete ignorance of the bloody rites enacted in their presence. Brown flaking stains decorated the golden surface of the ridge surrounding the altar.
Wait.
I want to also bring up that he has not spelled altar correctly a single time so far, which banked into a small slit at the lower right-hand corner of the altar. Ah, there it is. Okay.
I have been informed we have fan art. We have fan art of Grigner, actually. No joke. No cap. No, on God. We have an actual, hold on.
We got to see.
Hold on. Oh, please open right. Please don't open on a long tab. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's Grigner on your screen right now. There it is. He looks like a fucking gnome. Where's his legs? What happened to his legs? Where did his legs go?
This is good. This is Grigner.
This is Grigner. It's him, man. It's him.
I guess he's wearing pants and Grigner doesn't wear pants, but
yeah.
Like, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. You know, we got look, just once again, if you saw something that broke TOS, no, you didn't. Like, just to reiterate.
I love that he looks like a dwarf.
I love it. Yeah, he's like some weird, like, portmanteau of a dwarf and a gnome. Like, someone took a bite out of the hat. Look at that. That's fucking
that's really good. That's a really good touch.
He got hungry.
He's been hit on the head like 3 times. So.
He's hungry, I guess. Okay.
I love that the only part of Grigner's body that's armored, which is his helmet, is the only part that anybody seems to attack. He's never touch his like 4 foot wide
5 foot
torso.
Tall. 5 foot tall, 4 foot wide. Okay, pizza time. Thank you, Amric. Very cool.
Hell yes.
Okay, what was that? Protuberating? Is that a real word?
Yeah, no, that's not a real word.
Okay. Discuss privyet. I don't speak Italian. Sorry, pal. At your leisure.
The slit stood above a crudely pounded pail, which had several silver meshed chalices hanging at its side, dangling at the rim of golden mallet, the handle of which was engraved with the images of twisted faces, engroved at its far end with slots designed for a snug hand grip. The head of the mallet was slightly larger than a clenched fist and shaped into a smooth oval mass. Encircling the marble altar was a congregation of leering shaman. Cheery chants of a bygone age. I also love that he plurals like shaman as shaman instead of
hang on. Shaman, where are you? Your congregation.
Yeah, one shaman, 2 shaman.
Shaman, 3 shaman, 4. How many shamans are on the floor? 5 shaman, 6, 7. 7 shaman, 7.
Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you. First rule of improv comedy is everyone walk the dinosaur.
Everyone walk the dinosaur. Eerie chants of a bygone age, originating unknown's eons before the memory of man, were being uttered from the buried recesses of the acolyte's deep lings. Orange paint was smeared in generous globules over the tops of the priests' wrinkled, shaven scalps, while golden rings projected from the lobes of their pink ears. Ornate robes of luscier purple satin enclosed their bulging torsos, attached around their waist with silvered silk lashes latched with ebony buckles, the shape of morose, misshaped skulls. Dangling around their necks were oval-fashioned medallions, held by thin gold chains featuring in their centers blood-red rubies which resembled crimson fetish eyeballs. Cushioning their bare feet were plush red felt slippers with pointed golden spikes projecting from their tips.
Of course, gotta keep the grippers warm. Come on, man. This is incredible. Okay, no, the reason I think this is genuine is because this guy probably thought this was the coolest shit. This guy probably thought this was the most, like, badass motherfucker ever devised right there.
Yeah, Grigner the dwarf. The dwarf barbarian.
This is incredible.
Situated in front of the altar and directly adjacent to the copper pail was a massive jade idol, a misshapen, hideous bust of the shaman's pagan deity.
Ugh.
The shimmering green idol was placed in a sitting posture on an ornately carved golden throne, raised upon a round, dwarvery-plated dais.
Dwarf.
Its bulging arms and webbed hands resting on the padded arms of the seat. Its head was entwined in golden snake-like coils hanging over its oblong ears, which tapered off to thin hollow points. Its nose was a bulging triangular mass, sunken in at its sides with tau gaping nostrils. Dramatic beneath the nostrils was a twisted, shaggy lipped mouth, giving the impression of a slavering, sadistic grimace.
It's got the big
At the
fucking
foot of the
kissy
heathen deity, a slender, pale-faced female, naked but for a golden jeweled harness enshrouding her huge, outcropping breasts, supporting long silver laces which extended to her thigh,
Oh,
stood
okay.
before the pearl-white field with noticeable shivers traveling up and down the length of her exquisitely molded body. Her delicate lips trembled beneath the soft, narrow hands as she attempted to conceal herself of the piercing stone of ambivalent idol.
Wow.
Glancing directly towards her was the stony, cycloptic face of the bloated deity. Gaping from its single oblong socket was scintillating, many-faceted scarlet emerald, a brilliant gem seeming to possess a life all its own. A priceless, gleaming stone capable of domineering the wealth of conquering empires. The Eye of Argon.
Bro! Bro, roll the credits. There it is. That's it. That's okay. No, this is real. This is real. First off, this guy is a gooner. This guy is a grade A gooner. He knows what's good. He knows what he wants, right? And then the title drop. There's no human way that was written ironically, right? Irony, boys and people are not capable of greatness like that. Oh, excuse me, acid reflux. Was that the whole playlist? No, video pause, continue watching. I don't want to snooze it. Why does it do that? Literally, why does it do that?
Yes, Uncle Za, correct. Awooga.
Awooga!
Awooga. Yes, we love fat-tittied winches.
I love fat-tittied wenches, man. The broader their outcropping, the better.
Yeah, so the meat of the story is actually chapter 6, so...
Ooh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So we're on chapter 4 now. We're beginning chapter 4. Chapter 4 and 5 together are like a third of the length of chapter 6. Like, chapter 6 is massive.
Oh my god, I'm ready. Well, I don't think I'm ready, but I'm ready.
Chapter 4. I feel like I've been reading so much. There was less dialogue in this than I remembered.
No, it's rough. It's fucking rough. We can switch off if you want.
No, I'm committed now.
We're committed to the bit, I guess. You poor fucking bastard.
All knowledge of measuring time had escaped Grigner. When a person is deprived of the sun, moon, and stars, he loses all conception of time as he had previously understood it. It seemed as if years had passed if time were being measured by terms of misery and mental anguish.
Is it not
Yet
already?
Yet he estimated that his stay had only been a few days in length.
Me, when I get the
He
job,
had
I have
slept
to
3
apply to.
times and had been fed 5 times since his awakening in the crypt. However, when the actions of the body are restricted, its needs are also affected. The need for nourishment and slumber are directly proportional to the functions the body has performed, meaning that when free and active, Grigner may have become hungry every 6 hours, and witnessed the desire for sleep every 15 hours. Whereas in his present condition, he may encounter the need for food every 10 hours, and want for rest every 20 hours.
What?
All methods he had before depended upon were extinct in the dismal pit. Hence, he may have been imprisoned for 10 minutes or 10 years. He did not know, resulting in disheartened emotion deep within his being.
It's like he just got a fucking job at a cubicle or something. That's what this fucking sounds like.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on my Michel Foucault bald cap and say that, yeah, the cubicle is a prison.
You know what? You're right. You know what's really a prison? Life. We suffer because we are born.
Technically, the way we close a car door is fascist.
I fucking hate. I hate you, Adorno. Shut the fuck up. Get that out of my face. Okay, read, slave, read. Cracks the whip.
The food, if you can honor the moldering lumps of fetid mush to that extent, was borne to him by 2 guards who opened a portal at the top of his enclosure and shoved it to him in wooden bowls, retrieving the food and water bowels from his previous meal at the same time.
They just shoot
After
the
which
portal
they
gun.
threw back the bolts on the iron latch, and returned to their wandering to thoughts of what he believed was his future. He had memorized the number of strides from one end to the other of the cell, and knew the exact number of slabs which made up the bleak dungeon. Numerous schemes were introduced and alternately discarded in turn, as they succored to unravel to him no means of escape, which stood the slightest chance of success. Anguish continued to mount as his means of occupation were rapidly exhausted. Suddenly, without no tithe, he was routed from his contemplations as he detected a faint scratching sound at the end of the crypt opposite him. The sound seemed to be caused by something trying to scrape away at the granite blocks of the floor of the enclosure consisted of the sandy scratching of something like an animal's claws. Grigner gradually groped his way to the other end of the vault, carefully feeling his way along with his hands ahead of him. When a few inches from the wall, a loud penetrating squeal and the scampering of small padded feet reverberated from the walls of the roughly hewn chamber. Grigner threw his hands up to shield his face and flung himself backwards upon his buttocks. A fuzzy form bounded to his hairy chest, burying its talons in his flesh while gnawing towards his throat with grinding white teeth, its sour-fetid breaths scorching the skirming barbarian's dilating nostrils. Grigner grappled with the lashing flexor muscles of the repugnant body of a gargantuan brown-hided rat, striving to hold its razor teeth from his juicy jugular as its beady gray organs of sight gazed into the flaring emeralds of its
There's
prey.
a fucking word for that!
Its beady gray organs of sight. It's no way this is. There's no way this is real.
It's
I'm
gotta
gonna take
be.
the opposite.
It's
Organs-
it's
it would
real.
take-
It's real. It's peak.
It takes genius to come up with the phrase "organs of sight."
And
to
this
mean
man, I
eyes.
think, is genius. And you know what? Maybe he is just genius.
Taking hold of the rodent around its lean, growling stomach with both hands, Grigner pried it from his crimson-rent breast, removing small patches of flayed flesh from his chest in the motion between the squalid black claws of the starving beast. Holding the rodent at arm's length, he cupped his right hand over its frothing face, constricting his fingers into a vice-like fist over the quivering head. Retaining his grips on the rat, Grigner flexed his outstretched arms while slowly twisting his right hand clockwise and his left hand counterclockwise. The rodent let out a tortured squall, drawing scarlet as it violently dug its foam-flecked fangs into the barbarian's sweating palm, causing his face to contort to an ugly grimace as he cursed beneath his prey. With a loud crack, the rodent's head parted from its squirming torso,
He popped it like a soda bottle.
sending out a sprinkling shower of crimson gore and trailing a slimy string of disjointed vertebrae, snapped trachea, esophagus and jugular, disjointed hyoid bone,
What? Shut up! Shut up!
and blood seared muscle.
This is like a quarter of its skeletal system. Shut the fuck up! Oh my god! It's like he fucking shook a bottle too fast.
The fact I was able to get through that sentence without losing it is...
Fatality! Gnome wins! Fucking brutal! Ugh. Oh my god.
Oh. Flinging the broken body to the floor, Grigner shook his blood-streaked hands and wiped them against his thigh until dry, then wiped the blood that had showered his face from his eyes. Again sitting himself upon the jagged floor, he prepared to once more revamp his glum meditations. He told himself that as long as he still breathed the gust of life through his lungs, hope was not lost. He told himself this, but found it hard to comprehend in his gloomy surroundings. Yet he was still alive, his bulging sinews at the peak of marvel, his struggling mind floating in a myriad of impressed excellence of thought. Plot after plot sifted through his mind in energetic contemplations. Then it hit him. Minutes may have passed in silent thought, or days, he could not tell, but he stumbled at last upon a plan as he considered holding a slight margin of plausibility.
Plausibility.
He might die in the attempt, but he knew he would not submit without a final bloody struggle. It was not a foolproof plan, yet it built up a store of renewed vortexed energy in his overwrought soul. Though he might perish in the execution of the escape, he would be escaping the life of infinite torture in store for him.
For him. Is one word?
Either way, he would still cheat the gloating prince of the suckered revenge his sadistic mind craved so dearly. The guards would soon come to bear him off to the prince's buried mines of dread, giving him the sought-after opportunity to execute his newly formulated plan. Groping his way along the rough floor, Grigner finally found his tool in a pool of congealed gore, the carcass of the decapitated
Oh, yo!
The tool that the very filth had been sentenced to spawned. When the time came for action, he would have to be prepared, so he set himself to rending the sticky hulk in grim silence, searching by the touch of his fingertips for the lever to free.
What is he going to do? He's going to turn gonna turn it into a fleshlight? Is that what his plan is?
He's finding his tool in a pool of congealed gore.
Oh, silly me? Yeah. Of course. I gotta find... Oh, man, that reminded me. I gotta find my tool, too. I left out my pool of congealed gore out all night.
Unzip stick.
Thank you. Thank you. That was what I was going to say next, actually.
That's one of the classic Spider lines.
Classic.
The classic Big Dave
Unzipped dick.
clauses.
Of course.
Just saying unzipped dick.
To any, and unprompted, to anything even. I'll do. It's like a Tourette's tick. Yes! It's like a Tourette's tick. I'll just be like, unzipped dick. Have I told you about the fat ass incident?
Oh, no.
I feel like I may have told you. I've told Stream, but I definitely haven't told you, right?
Oh, maybe you did.
The fat ass incident?
I'm getting an inkling. Yeah.
Okay. Well, back in college, in my bio lab, there was a big old tank full of fish. And in that tank of fish was this big motherfucking lungfish. And he was like a real fat motherfucker. I called him Fat Ass, right? Because he was big. And I actually saw him eat like a goldfish or something when we were in there. He would just like eat the other fish sometimes because he was a fucker, right? And he was my friend. Every day when I went to Biolab, I go like, oh, hey, how you doing, Fat Ass? And I'd say, good morning to Fat Ass. And one morning I went like, oh, good afternoon, Fat Ass, and tipped my hat to him, turned the corner, and there was a rather rotund woman staring back at me in the hallway. And I went like, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to I called the lungfish Fat Ass, right? And I was very apologetic and felt really bad. And I don't think she believed me, actually, because she just went like, oh, yeah, of course, right. The lungfish. And I felt really bad because I saw her like a few times. Hello, Blout gets clout. Yeah, that's the Fat Ass story. Thank you. I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, that's deeply unfortunate.
Do you want me to do chapter 5?
No. I got this.
Okay. They got this.
Although it does start with dialogue, so this is by a fidgeting shaman, apparently.
Upon the altar and be done with it, wench.
Ordered a fidgeting shaman as he gave the female a grim stare, accompanied by the wrinkling of his lips to a mirthful grin of delight. The girl bust into a slow, steady whimper, stooping shakily to her knees and cringing woefully from the priest with both arms wound snake-like around the bulging jade shin resting before her scantily attired figure. Her face was redly inflamed with the salty flow of tears spouting from her glassy, dilated eyeballs.
Sorry. Go on. Continue.
See, aren't you glad I'm reading this and not you? With short, heavy footfalls, the priest approached the female, his piercing stare never wavering from her quivering young countenance.
The female.
Halting before the terrified girl, he projected his arm outward and motioned her to arise with an upward movement of his hand. The girl's whimpering increased slightly, and she sunk closer to the floor rather than arising. The flickering torches outlined her trim build with a weird, ornate glow as it cast a ghostly shadow dancing in horrid waves of splendor over her smoothly worn whiteness of the marble-hewn altar.
I'm not that way.
The shaman's lips curled back farther, exposing a set of blackened, decaying molars which transformed his slovenly grin into a wide, greasy
The arc of sadistic mirth.
and alternately interposed into the female a strong sensation of stomach-curdling nausea.
Have it as you will, female.
Gloated the enhanced priest as he bent over at the waist, projecting his ape-like arms forward
Like a
and
fucking
clasped the female's slender arms with his hairy, round fists. With an inward surge of his biceps, he harshly jerked the trembling girl to her feet and smothered her salty, wet cheeks with the moldy touch of his decrepit, dull red lips. The vile stench of the shaman's hot, fetid breath overcame the nauseated female with a deep, soul-searing sickness, causing her to wrench her head backwards and regurgitate a slimy orange-white stream of swelling gore over the richly woven purple robe of the enthused acolyte.
What the fuck is you?
The girl gasped a tortured groan the priest's lips trembled with a malicious rage as he removed his callous paws from the girl's arms and replaced them with tightly around her undulating neck, shaking her violently to and fro.
Look at that shit. He's kind of like fucking Bart.
The girl gasped a tortured groan from her clamped lungs, her sea blue eyes bulging forth from damp sockets. Oh, it is just like Bart.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually just Bart. This is just Homer and Bart.
Cocking her right foot backwards, she leashed it desperately outwards with the strength of a demon possessed, lodged her sandaled foot squarely between the shaman's testicles.
Yeah, bust his balls! Yeah!
The startled priest released his crushing grip, crimping his body over at the waist overlooking his recessed belly, wide open in a deep chasm. His face flushed to a rose-red shade of crimson, eyelids fluttering wide with eyeballs protruding blindly outwards from their sockets to their outmost perimeters, while his lips quivered wildly, about allowing an agonized wallow to gush forth as his breath billowed from burning lungs. His hands reached out, clutching his urinary gland.
What?
As his knees wobbled rapidly.
No, hold on. No, stop. What? Pause. Reality check. Where is that? I need an actual registered nurse or a doctor to tell me where the urinary gland is right now. It is not on the penis. Like, what?
No, it's his balls.
It's
That's where the pee is stored.
Is that where the penis is? Oh,
that's where the pee is stored.
Of course.
It's his urinary. She kicked him in the balls.
Oh,
that's where the pee is stored.
My bad. Right
so
in the
it's
balls.
his urinary gland.
Okay, continue as you were.
As his knees, wobbled rapidly about for a few seconds, then buckled, causing the ruptured shaman to collapse in an egg-huddled mass to the granite pavement, rolling helplessly about in his agony.
That was like a Family
I
Guy
think she
skit.
actually exploded his balls. I
balls!
think that's what's happened.
Ball busting ASMR on stream right now. If you saw something that broke TOS, no, you didn't.
Yeah, Lego Yoda death noise. The pathetic screeches of the shaman, groveling in dejected misery upon the hand-hewn granite-laid pavement, worn smooth by countless hours of arduous sweat and toil, a welter of ichor oozing through his clenched hands, attracted the perturbed attention of his comrades from their fetid ulations. The actions of this rebellious wench bespoke the credence of an unheard of sacrilege. Never before in a lost maze of untold eons had a chosen one dared to demonstrate such blasphemy in the face of the cult's idolic deity.
Sorry. great.
I love the detour to describe the stonework.
It's fucking bull.
Like half of this sentence is just stonework.
Oh my god.
The girl cowered in unreasoning terror, helpless in the face of the emblazoned acolyte's rage. Her orchid tussled face. What's with this guy in describing hair as orchids? What just keeps happening?
Is it white?
I don't know. Her orchid tussled face smothered betwixt her bulging bosom as she shut her curled lash tightly, hoping to open them and find herself awakening from a morbid nightmare. Yet the hand of destiny decreed her no such mercy, the antagonized pack of leering shaman converging tensely upon her prostrate form were entangled all too lividly in the grim web of reality.
Ew.
Shuddering from the clammy touch of the shaman as they grappled with her supple form, hands wrenching at her slender arms and legs in all directions, her bare body being molested in the midst of a labyrinth of orange smudges, purpled satin, and mangled skulls, shadowed in an eerie crimson glow, her confused head reeled then clouded in a mist of enshrouding ebony as she lapsed beneath the protective sheet of unconsciousness to a land peach and resign.
What? What?
I don't know what makes a land
peaches in
peach and resign.
Peach and resign. You know what? I'm using that now. I'm incorporating it in my vocabulary
Land peach and resign.
Oh my god. Do you want me to do chapter 6? Because this is real. What is that? Is that a cat? Okay, no, I'm spoilers.
No.
You got this, bro.
Do you want me to do the soldier, or do you just want to do like all the dialogue?
I'll do all the dialogue, I guess, to give you a break.
I think that's please.
Take hold of this rope
Said the first soldier.
and climb out of your pit, slut! Your presence is requested in a far deeper hellhole.
Rigner slipped his right hand to his thigh, concealing a small opaque object beneath the folge of the G-string wrapped around his waist.
I got him in a thong! They got him in like the fucking lingerie he's wearing in Victoria's Secret! No fucking way!
You gotta play box air on G-string.
Oh my god!
Brian Wells swelled in Grigner's cold jade squinting eyes, which, grown accustomed to the gloom of the Stygian pools of ebony engulfing him, were bedazzled and blinded by flickering radiance cast forth by the second soldier's resin torch. Oh boy. Oh.
You can tag me in if you need to.
No, I got this.
Oh
I got this. This is easier than the Grinch. The
Okay,
Grinch
I guess. If you say so.
It's okay. After chapter 6, there's not a whole lot left.
Oh, we can.
I guess chapter 7.5 is pretty long, but
Oh god. Oh god.
chapter 6 is like the halfway point of this 7-chapter story.
I believe in
the
you.
Beginning of chapter 6.
I believe in you.
Tightly gripped in the second soldier's right hand, opposite of the intermittent torch, was a large double-edged axe, a long leather-wound oaken handle transfixing the center of the weapon's iron head. Adorning the torsos of both of the sentries were thin yet sturdy oberks, the breastplates of which were woven in tightly hemmed twines of reinforcing silver braiding. Cupping the soldiers' feet were thick leather sandals. Why does this guy always describe their fucking shoes?
I don't know what's the
Wound about their shins to 2 inches below their knees. Oh, so they've got like the Roman...
Yeah, they got like the Roman thing going on. The sword
Thing
to
going-
sandal ratio is like, it's atrocious, in my opinion.
Yeah, too
Foot
many sandals,
fetishist.
not enough swords.
Foot fetishist. Cool.
Wrapped around... interestingly, he hasn't described any of the women's feet.
Yeah, just the guys, I guess.
Only the guys.
Curious.
But he keeps talking about like life-giving shafts and stuff, so like... You know how it is. He's a guy who watched Conan the Barbarian, and he thinks that he's really into it for the busty winches, but he's circa like 17 or so, he's going to discover something about himself.
Thinking about, I know what you are.
Wrapped around their waists were wide satin girdles.
You fucking called it! Okay, no, go on. Sorry, go on. As you were.
With slender-bladed poniards dangling loosely from them, the hilts of which featured scarlet-encrusted gems. Resting upon the manes of their heads, and reaching midway to their brows, were smooth copper morions. Spiraling the lower portion of the helmet were short, upcurved silver spikes, while a golden hump spired from the top of each bassinet. Is it a bassinet or a morion? Hello? Excuse me? Those are different? Those are different helmets?
Complete fraud. Fraud
They're
alarm,
not.
fraud
Those
alarm.
are not synonyms. Yeah, this is fraud alert.
Fraud
Bassinet
alarm.
and morion are not synonyms.
Boo. 0 out of 10. See me after class.
Beneath their chins, wound around their necks, and draping their clad shoulders, dangled regal purple satin cloaks, which flowed midway to the soldiers' feet. Hand over hand, feet braced against the dank walls of the enclosure, huge Grigner ascended from the moldering depths of the forlorn abyss. I really want like huge like it's like a Homeric epithet. Like anytime they talk about Grigner, he's huge Grigner.
Huge Grigner, exactly.
You know, it's like swift-footed Achilles.
Yeah.
His swelled limbs stiff due to the boredom. His swelled limbs. Ooh. Stiff swelled limbs. Stiff due to the boredom of a timeless inactivity, compounded by the musty atmosphere and jagged granite protuberant against his body, craved for action. The opportunity now presenting itself served the purpose of oiling his rusty joints and honing his dulled senses.
Fucking oiling him
oiling
up!
Grigner up.
They're oiling him up! They're gonna give a little body cleaner! They're gonna make him fucking twerk on the poles! They're gonna lock him in the cage and be like, yeah, dance for us, like, yeah, you pull out that cock meat spin for us. Give us a 1, give us a 2, come on, yeah. Yeah, work those hips, come on.
I'm telling you, this author's gonna, you know, when he went to college in like the 80s, I'll bet he had a good time.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
This is too homoerotic even for the gay guy. Cool.
He braced himself, facing the second soldier. The sentry's stature, very little is too homoerotic for me. The sentry's stature was, I just want to put that on the record. The sentry's stature was wildly exaggerated in the glare of the flickering crescent cuppets in his right fist. His eyes were wide open in a slightly slanted owlish glaze, enhanced in their sinister intensity by the hawkbill curve of his nose and pale yellow peak of his cheeks.
Place your hands behind your back, big boy.
Said the... God damn it. Said the second soldier as he raised his axe over his right shoulder blade and casted a wavering glance.
Oh, we must bind your wrists to parry any attempts at escape. Be sure the knot.
No, I can do this.
Be sure to make the knot a stout one, Broig. Broig, we wouldn't want our guests to leave our guidance.
You've done like 3 different accents in this one sentence, dog.
Okay.
Broid grasped Grigner's left wrist and reached for the barbarian's right wrist. Grigner wrenched his right arm free and swiveled to face Broig, reach behind his loincloth with his right hand. The sentry, I guess he shoved it up his ass?
Yes, he shoved it up.
The sentry grappled at his girdle for the sheathed dagger, but recoiled short of his intentions as Grigner's right arm swept to his gorge. The soldier went limp, his bobbing eyes rolling beneath fluttering eyelids, a deep welt across his spouting gullet.
He's doing an Ahigo
Without
face.
lingering to observe the result of his effort, Grigner dropped to his knees. The second soldier's axe cleft over Grigner's head in a blizz of silvered ferocity, severing several scarlet locks from his scalp. Coming to rest in his fellow's stomach, the iron head crashed through the mail and flesh with splintering force, spilling a pool of crimson entrails over the granite paving.
They did it again! They went straight for the head! Again!
Before his sentry could wrench his axe free from his comrade's carcass, he found Grigner's massive hands clasped around his throat, choking the life from his clenched lungs. With the zealous grunts, the accordion flexed his tightly corded biceps, forcing the grim-faced soldier to one knee. The sentry plunged his right fist into Grigner's face, digging his grimy nails into the barbarian's flesh, ejaculating a curse through rasping teeth. I'm telling you, man, this has to be intentional. Grigner surged the bulk of his weight forward, bowling the besieged soldier over upon his back.
Okay.
The sentry's arms collapsed to his thigh, shuddering convulsively. His bulging eyes staring blindly from a bloated cherry red face.
So is it good for you?
Emmerich.
Oh my god. Oh my days, brother.
It wasn't saggy teats, it was saggy nipples.
Oh,
I just want to
yeah.
put that on the record. Her
Yeah, guys,
nipples
let's get it straight.
specifically are saggy.
Don't get it twisted.
Didn't say anything about the rest of her breasts.
Are Gragnar's massive hands massive for his size or just regular huge? I think we have an artist's depiction of Gragnar. Gragnir? I don't know. I'll leave it up to your own interpretation. This is the artist's rendition, who shall remain nameless.
No. We ought to credit Emmerich with
All right,
this
fine. It was
beautiful,
fucking Emmerich. It was fucking Emmerich. Thank you, Emmerich Draws. He drew me a fucking beautiful picture. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Here, this is me kissing it. You ready? Watch this. Here, come here. Hang on. Fucking crispy face. Good. Mwah! There we go. There we go. Are you happy? Are you happy now? You all happy now, you fucking freaks?
I'm sure Grigner's happy.
Yeah, I am. Tiny, huge Grigner. Okay, as you were.
I love that his legs are just, they're just little.
They're just stubs.
Oh my god. Rising to his feet, Grigner shook the blood from his eyes, ruffling his surly red mane as a brush fire swaying to the nighttime breeze. Stooping over the sprawled corpse of the first soldier, Grigner retrieved a small white object from a pool of congealing gore. Snorting a gusty billow of mirth, he once more concealed the tiny object beneath his loincloth, the tediously honed pelvis bone of the broken rodent. Returning his attention towards the second soldier, Grigner turned to the task of attiring his limbs. To move about freely through the dim recesses of the castle would require the grotesque garb of its soldiery.
Okay, what is this thing right here? Is this the rat? Is this the rat?
It's Eek.
It's Eek.
It's
That's
the
his name.
Eek. I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll come across an Eek.
Ooh.
Or maybe it's the rat. I don't know.
I don't know.
Find out. Utilizing the silence and stealth acquired in the untamed climbs of his childhood, Grigner slink through twisting corridors and winding stairways, lighting his way with the confiscated torch of his dispatched guardian. Knowing where his steps were leading to, Grigner meandered aimlessly. Wait, what? Knowing where his steps were leading to.
Meandered aimlessly.
Grigner meandered I don't know why that one broke my brain after all of this. Grigner meandered aimlessly in search of an exit from the chateau's dim
confines.
The wild blood coursing through his veins yearned for the undefiled freedom of the livid wilderness lands. Coming upon a fork in the passage, he shrieked. Voices accompanied by clinking footfalls discerned to his sensitive ears from the left corridor. Wishing to avoid contact, Grigner veered to the right passageway. If accosted as to the purpose of his presence, his barbarous accent would reveal his identity. Being that his attire was not that of the castle's mercenary troops.
Are you good? Are you well right now?
I just imagined your like Grigner voice and like briefly.
I'm working here. What are you doing?
In grim silence, Grigner treaded down the dingily lit corridor, a stalking panther creeping warily along padded feet. After an interminable period of wandering through the dull corridors, no gaps to break the monotony of the cold gray walls, Grigner espied a small winding stairway. I guess that's Spanish for spied. Descending the flight of arced granite tabs to their posterior, Grigner was confronted by a short hallway leading to a tall, arched wooden doorway. Halting before the teeming portal.
No. They got the portal gun out. He's got 2 portals now. We're playing with portals, baby. Now he's gonna do a physics puzzle to get out. That's part of the play, man.
Portal. Grigner resties his shaggy head sideways against the barrier. Detecting no sounds from within, he grasped the looped metal handle of the door, his arms surging with a tremendous effort of bulging muscles if the door would not budge. Retrieving his axe from where he had sheathed it behind his girdle. His axe? What axe?
What axe? He just got it in his ass cheeks.
Hefted it in his mighty hands with an appeased grunt, and wedging one of its blackened edges into the crack between the portal and its iron-rimmed sill. Bracing his sandaled right foot against the roguely hewn wall, teeth tightly clenched, Grigner apple-levered the oaken haft, employing it as a lever whereby to pry open the barrier. The leather wound held bending to its utmost limits of endurance, the massive portal swung open with grating of snapped latch and rusty iron hinges. Glancing around the dust-swirled room in the gloomily dancing glare of his flickering cresset, Grigner eyed evidences of the enclosure being nothing more than a forgotten storeroom. Miscellaneous articles required for the maintenance of a castle were piled in disorganized heaps at infrequent intervals toward the wall opposite the barbarian's piercing stare. Utilizing long, bounding strides... Oh, we're doing the Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs run again.
Oh, yeah, we got
Grigner paced his way over to the mounds of supplies to discover if any articles of value were contained within their midst. Detecting a faint clinking sound, Grigner sprawled to his left side with the speed of a striking cobra, landing harshly upon his back.
Oh my god.
Torch and axe loudly clattering to the floor in a morass of sparks and flame. An elm-woven board leaped from collapsed flooring, crashing against the jagged flooring and spewing a shower of orange and yellow sparks over Grigner's startled face. Rising uneasily to his feet, the half-stunned accordion glared down at the gruesome arm of death he had unwittingly sprung. Rifk! I guess that's your line.
Is that what is that?
That's Rifk is the deity that he worshipped, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
From way back in like chapter 2.
Oh, so he's basically just going right?
Yes, yeah. He's saying, "Oh God."
We now have a lore. Okay, we have a lore accurate Grungner, if I'm to be believed. Oh, I cannot. Dude, I actually can't put this on stream.
No, well, show me at least.
Stream, I don't think. Dude, for real. Look at what he did. I can't. I am already flirting with death. It's dragging on the fucking floor. Why did you do that?
Oh my god.
Can we install the censorship patch? No, I straight up can't. Okay, hang on.
Put it in the Discord.
Okay, I'll put it in the Discord. I will put it in the Discord. I'll give the stream a brief reveal, I guess. you gotta active censorship really quick. Hang on.
And genuinely, thank you, Emmerich. This is beautiful. I love his. I hate to say it, but I love his feet.
I hate to say it, but I love his feet. That's you know what? That's just gonna be the new sub sound or whatever, bro. Okay. Hang on, I got this. I'm an expert. I am a professional when it comes to video production. God damn it, there's already a file name for this. Copy and replace. Yes, thank you. Okay. Preview. David, I got this. I think, maybe? Question mark? Where'd I put it? Shut up! Shut up! Don't do that to me, man! Don't fucking do that to me. Hang on. Okay, I got this. I think this is it? Question mark? Is this it?
You're gonna cry when you end up showing, like, just, like, dick and balls on the
Dick
screen.
and balls.
Like,
dick
there's
and
a
balls.
secret third Emmerich draws art of this without the loincloth, and that's the one you show accidentally.
Here, you are going to act as there. This is what it looks like. It's
Oh, hell yes. Okay, but we can also see the second one with the loincloth out behind it.
No,
you did
fuck!
the
Oh
thing.
my god damn it!
You did the thing.
My career's over. Emmerich, what have you done? Why did you make me do that? He's pulling his crock out.
You need to make me smaller. The audience can't see Grigner's feet.
My bad. Here you go. This is what the people want to see. Here you go. Look,
Smaller dude.
I streamed Fear and Hunger. I think I'll be okay. I streamed. And I'm still alive. In fact, I've streamed Fear and Hunger like 3 or 4 times. Are his feet on backwards? Hey, Rick, what's up with that?
That's why I love them. That's why I complimented the feet of this image.
I get out of
They're
here.
more
Grigner.
accurate.
Get
This
out
is
of
what
here.
accordions look like.
The Grigner be gone. Huge Grigner in Termina. I'm not kidding when I say I think Ragvald, the Outlander, like the red guy, is supposed to kind of be like Grigner. I'm like actually not kidding when I think there may be some like connection there. Because he also has like red hair and just acts like a fucking weirdo.
What game is this from?
Fear and Hunger. Which I do not recommend you play if you have a weak stomach, because it is bad. It's really fucking rough, man.
Yeah, I think this might be Grigner.
I'm not kidding. Canonical Grigner is just that guy. I think his title's like the Outlander, but I think his name is like Ragnvald or something like that. And one of his abilities is that he just gets to eat people when he kills them. So he doesn't have to worry about the hunger part of Fear and Hunger.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Someone put Huge Grigner in Termina better. Yeah. Are you good?
All right, gotta continue.
We gotta lock in.
Gotta lock in.
We just gotta lock in.
We're in chapter 6, which is not the last chapter. Chapter 7.5 is the last chapter.
Of course.
If not for his keen, that's the other reason I think it's like fake. Is the chapter 7.5 is the last chapter is so funny. If not for his keen auditory organs and lighting steeled reflexes, Grigner would have been groping through the shadowed hell pits of the Grim Reaper. He had unknowingly stumbled upon an ancient, long-forgotten booby trap. A mistake which would have stunted the perusal of longevity of one less agile.
Shut the fuck up! Shut up right now. Why is that the line that breaks my brain? That's so fucking... I hate this guy.
This is a work of just artistry, dude.
Incredible.
This is like James Joyce or like William Faulkner, command of the English language right here.
Incredible. I love this guy.
A mechanism similar in type to that of a miniature catapult was concealed beneath 2 collapsible sections of granite flooring. The arm of the device was 4 feet long, boasting razor-like cleats at regular intervals along its face, with which it was to skewer the luckless body of its would-be victim. Grigner had stepped upon a concealed catch which released the small metal latch between the 2 granite sections, causing them to fall inward, and thereby loose the spiked arm of death they had precariously held in. Partially out of curiosity and partially out of an inordinate fear of becoming a pincushion for a possible second trap, Grigner plunged his torch into the exposed gap in the floor. The floor of a second chamber stood out 7 feet below the glare. Tossing his torch through the aperture, Grigner grasped the side of an adjoining tile, dropping down.
This just is
Glancing about the room, Grigner discovered he had descended into the palace's mausoleum. Rectangular stone crypts cluttered the floor at evenly placed intervals. The tops of the enclosures were plated with thick layers of virgin gold, while the sides were plated with white ivory, at one time sparkling, but now grown dingy through the passage of Ray's all-encompassing Mother Time. Featured at... so much from parsing that sentence. Featured at the head of each sarcophagus in tarnished silver was an expungisively carved likeness of its rotting inhabitant.
The rat?
A dingy atmosphere pervaded the air of the chamber, which sealed in the enclosure for an unknown period had grown thick and stale. Intermingling with the curdled currents was the repugnant stench of slowly moldering flesh, creeping ever slowly but surely through minute cracks in the numerous vaults. Due to the embalming of the bodies, their flesh decayed at a much slower rate than is normal, but the nauseous odor was nonetheless repellent.
Well, there's Mulder. Where's Scully?
John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. But his soul goes marching on. Towering over Grigner's head was the trap he released, the mechanism of the miniaturized catapult was cluttered with mildew and cobwebs. Notwithstanding these relics of antiquity, its efficiency remained unimpinged. To the right of the trap wound a short stairway through a recess in the ceiling, a concealed entrance leading to the mausoleum for which the catapult had obviously been erected as a silent, relentless guardian. Climbing up the side of the device, Grigner set to the task of resetting its mechanism. Why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, why? What?
In the event that a search was
E-event.
organized, it would prove well to leave no evidence of his presence open to wandering eyes.
It's like an e-boy.
Besides, it might even serve to dwindle the size of an opposing force. Descending from his perch, Grigner was startled by a faintly muffled scream of horrified desperation. His hair prickled yawkishly in disorganized clumps along his scalp, as a cold danced along the length of his spinal cord. No moral/mortal barrier, human or otherwise, was capable of arousing the numbing sensation of fear inside Grigner's smoldering soul. However, he was overwrought by the forces of the barbarian's instinctive fear of the supernatural. His mighty thews had always served to adequately conquer any tangible foe. Period. Comma. But the intangible was something distant and terrible. Dim, horrifying tales passed by word of mouth over glimmering campfires and skins of wine had more than once served the purpose of chilling the marrowed core of his sturdy-limbed bone.
Wow.
Yet the scream contained a strangely human quality, unlike that which Grigner imagined would come from the lungs of a demon or spirit. I'm imagining like the Obi-Wan yowl in Star Wars. Yeah, the crate dragon. Making Grigner take short, nervous strides, advancing to the sarcophagus from which the sound was issuing. Clenching his teeth in an attempt to steel his jangled nerves, Grigner slid the engraved slab from the vault with a sharp rasp of grinding stone. Another long-drawn cry of terror infested anguish met the barbarian, scoring like the shrill piping of a demented banshee, piercing the inner fibers of his superstitious brain with primitive dread and awe. Stooping over to espy the tomb's contents, he did it again.
He did it again.
The glittering accordion's nostrils were singed by the scorching aroma of a moldering corpse, long shut up and fermenting. The same putrid scent which permeated the entire chamber, though multiplied to a much more concentrated dosage. The shriveled, leathery packet of crumbling bones and dried, flacking flesh offered no resistance, but remained in a fixed position of perpetual vigilance, watching over its dim abode from the hollow, gaping sockets.
Abode, there it is.
The tortured Krees were not coming from the tomb, but from some hidden depth below. Pulling the raking corpse from its resting place, Grigner tossed it to the floor in a broken, mangled heap.
No, keep going.
Upon one side of the crypt's bottom was attached a series of tiny hinges, while running parallel along the opposite side of a convex railing like a protuberance, laid so as to appear as part of the interior surface of the sarcophagus. Raising the slab upon its bronzed hinges, long removed from the gaze of human eyes, Grigner perceived a scene which caused his blood to smolder, not unlike bubbling molten lava.
Where is it? Hang on, I lost my place.
Directly below him, a whimpering female lay stretched upon a smooth-surfaced marble altar. A pack of grassy-faced shaman clustered around her in a tight circular formation. Crouched over the girl was a tall, pot-bellied priest, his face dominated by a disgusting, open-mouthed grimace of sadistic glee.
This is all happening in the sarcophagus.
Yes, this is inside the sarcophagus.
They're all really small. No, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really small.
Yeah, it's a gnome pagan sacrifice. Suspended from the acolyte's clenched right hand was a carven oval-faced mallet, which he waved menacingly over the girl's shadowed face.
Wait. Okay. No, okay, I get it now. I thought, like, the mallet had a face on it, like a human face or something, right? Like, that does not read very normally at all. It had, like, a fucking, like, angry, like, kabuki joy mask or whatever on it.
It would fit the aesthetic.
Why not? Let's do it. Fuck,
An
we'll do it live.
incoherent gibberish flowing from his grinning, thick-lipped mouth. In the face of the amorphous, broad-breeded female, stretched out alluringly before his gaping eyes, the universal whim of nature filing a plea of despair inside his white-hot soul, Grigner acted in the only manner he could perceive. Giving vent to a hoarse, throat-rending battle cry, Grigner plunged into the midst of the startled shaman, torch simmering in his left hand and axe twirling in his right hand. A gaunt, skull-faced priest standing at the far side of the altar clutched desperately at his throat, coughing furiously in an attempt to catch his breath. Lurching helplessly to and fro, the acolyte pitched headlong against the gleaming base of a massive jade idol. Writhing agonizedly against the hideous image, foam flecking his chalk-white lips, the priest struggled helplessly, the victim of an epileptic seizure.
What? No! No, what? 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 Explain! What? 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 What?
Startled by the barbarian's stunning appearance. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Refer to the Discord if you want to see the barbarian's stunning appearance.
Yeah, by the way.
The chronic fit of their fellow, and the fear that Grigner might be the avant-garde of a conquering force dedicated to the cause of destroying their degenerated cult. The Saman momentarily lost their composure. Giving vent to heedless pandemonium, the priests fell easy prey to Grigner's sweeping arc of crimson death and maiming destruction. The acolyte performing the sacrifice took a vicious blow to the stomach, hands clutching vitals and severed spinal cord as he sprawled over the altar. The disorganized priest lurched and staggered with split skulls, dismembered limbs, and spewing entrails before the enraged accordion's relentless onslaught.
I can't get over how that.
The howless of the maimed and dying reverberated against the walls of the tiny chamber, a chorus of hell-fraught despair as the granite floor ran red with blood. The entire chamber was encompassed in the heat of raw, savage butchery as Grigner luxuriated in the grips of a primitive, beastly bloodlust. Presently all went Silenet, save for the ebbing groans of the sinking shaman and Grigner's heaving breath,
Simply
accompanied by
ebbing.
several gusty curses.
Simply
The
ebbing.
well had run dry. No more lambs remained for the slaughter. The rampaging stead of death, having taken of Grigner for the moment, left the barbarian freed to the exploitation of his other perusials. Towering over his head was the misshapen image of the cult's hideous deity, Argon. The fantastic size of the idol and consideration of its being of pure jade was enough to cause the senses of any man to stagger and reel. Yet thus was not the case for the behemoth. He had paid only casual notice to this incredible fact, while riveting the whole of his attention upon the jewel protruding from the idol's soul socket, its masterfully cut faucets, emitting blinding rays of hypnotizing beauty. After all, a man cannot slink from a heavily guarded palace while burdened down by an intense bulk of squatting statue, providing, of course, the idol can even be hefted, which in fact was beyond the reaches of Grigner's coursing stamina. On the other hand, the jewel, gigantic as it was, would not present a hindrance of any mean concern.
Help me! Please, I can make it worth your while.
Pleaded a soft, anguish-strewn voice wafting over Grigner's shoulders as he plucked the dull red emerald from its roots. Turning, Grigner faced the female that had lured him into this bloodbath, but whom had become all but forgotten in the heat of battle.
Yeah.
Ejaculated the accordion in a pleased tone.
I thought I'd seen that in the tavern, but I was mistaken.
Grigner advanced into the grips of the female's entrancing stare, severing the golden chains that held her captive upon the altar's highly polished face of ornamental limestone. As Grigner lifted the girl from the altar, her arms wound dexterously about his neck, soft and smooth against the harsh exterior.
Thou art pleased that we have this chance to meet once again.
Grigner merely voiced a side grunt, returning the damsel's embrace while he smothered her trim, delicate lips between the coursing protrusions of his reeking maw. Grigner says,
Let us really take leave of this better temper.
stated Grigner as he placed the female upon her feet. She swooned a moment, causing Grigner to give her support, then regained her stance.
Thou art able to find a way through the occult passages of this castle. Mifrick, every one of these corridors, the damn place are identical!
I was once at one time a slave of Prince Agaflem. His clammy touch sent a sour swirl through my belly, but my efforts reaped a harvest. I gained the pig's liking, whereby he allowed me such freedom out of the palace. It was through that means I eventually managed to escape out of the palace. It was a simple matter to seduce the sentry of the Western Gate. His trust found within him a dagger thrust his ribs.
The wench
stated
What?
whimsicorically.
Whimsicorically. Is that real? Is that a real word? Surely not.
No.
Okay.
why would it be a real word?
What were you doing at the tavern when I would have to discover you?
Asked Grigner as he lifted the female through the opening into the mausoleum.
I sought to lay low for the palace guards as they conducted the search for me. The tavern was seldom frequented by the palace guards, and my identity was unknown to the common soldiers. I thought the disturbance that you caused, that the palace guards were attracted to the tavern, and I was dragged away shortly after you exorted the palace.
What do you call it, female?
Carinthia!
Carthenia! What is this? Carthena?
Carthena.
Carthena, daughter of Mincardos, Duke of Barwego.
Hotel, Barwego.
Whose lands border along the northwest fringes of Gorzom. I was paid as homage to Agathim upon his 38th year, asked the Fem.
Husked the Fem.
The ways of our civilization are in many ways wrapped and distorted.
Oh no, you missed a line.
Oh, sorry. I am Carl the Barbarian.
Grunted Grigner in a disgusted tone.
The ways of our civilization are, in many ways, warped and distorted, but what is your calling, Bat Eyelashes?
She queried bustily.
I have vaguely heard of Accordia. It is, oh my god, it's chapter 7. I have vaguely heard of Accordia. It is the hill country in the far east of the Mongolian shit. Sorry. Oh god. From the Nogolian Empire, I have also heard Agathim curse your land more than once when his troops were routed in the unaccustomed mountains and gorges, saith she.
Saith she.
Aye, my people were not tarnished by the petty luxuries and baubles. They remained fierce in their unconquerable loyalty to their native climes.
After reaching the hidden panel at the head of the stairway, Grigner was at a loss in regard to its operation. His fiercest heaves were as pebbles against burnished armor. Carthena just pressed a small symbol included within the elaborate design upon the panel, where open it slowly slid into a cleft in the wall.
How did you become a victim of the shaman?
Quested Grigner as he escorted Carthena through the piles of rummage on the left side of the trap.
By Agathim's orders, I was thrust into that secluded quell to await the passing of sentence. By some means, the priests of Argon acquired a set of keys to the cell. They slew the guard placed over me and abducted me to the chamber, which you chanced upon me in the schizophrenic sacrifice. Am I what?
The scud stick sacrifice.
What? That's like a Polish word, I think. Sonny, that's Polish, right? Caustic sacrifice.
Their hellspawn cult demands a sacrifice once every 3 moons. Upon its journey through the heavens, they stared at our unannounced appearance through fear that you had been sent by Aghanim. The prince would have surely submitted them to most ghastly of tortures if they were discovered for their unfaithfulness to Sargon of Akkad. His bastard deity, many of the partakers of the ritual were high nobles and high trustees of his inner palace. Agathim's pitiless wrath would have been unparalleled.
I have no more fear of Agathim now.
Bellowed Grigner in a deep, mirthful tone, a gleeful smirk upon his face.
I have said that I would never find my vengeance.
Engrossed by Carthena's graceful stride and conversation, Grigner failed to take note of the footfalls rapidly approaching behind him. As he swung aside the arched portal linking the chamber with the corridors beyond, a maddened, bloodlusting screech reverberated from his eardrums. Seemingly utilizing the speed of thought, Grigner swiveled to face his unknown foe. With gaping eyes and whitened jaws, Grigner raised his axe upon the surly Mien, but he was too late. End of chapter 6. I appreciate that your Grigner is like Winston Churchill.
We will fight them in the dungeons. We will fight them in the catacombs. We will not surrender an inch of land to the North-Russians.
With wobbling knees and swimming head, the priest that had lapsed onto an epileptic seizure rose unsteadily to his feet.
Oh, gosh, I forgot.
This is the beginning of chapter 7. While enacting his choking fit in writhing agony, the shaman was overlooked by Grigner. The barbarian had mistaken the seizure for the death throes of the acolyte, allowing the priest to avoid his stinging blade. The sight that met the priest's inflamed eyes nearly served to sprawl him upon the floor once more. The sacrificial sat at grim. Blood-splattered silence all around him, broken only by the occasional yelps and howls of his maimed and butchered fellows. Above his head rose the hideous idol, its empty socket holding the shaman's furbished, infuriated gaze. His eyes turned to a stony glaze with the realization of the pillage and blasphemy. Due to his high susceptibility following the seizure, the priest was transformed into a raving maniac bent solely upon wreaking vengeance. With lips curled and quivering, the crust of foam dripping from them, the acolyte drew a long, wicked-looking, jewel-hilted scimitar from his silver girdle and fled through the aperture in the ceiling, uttering a faintly perceptible ceremonial gibberish. Chapter 7.5. A sweeping scimitar swung towards Grigner's head in a shadowed blur of motion. With axe raised over his head, Grigner prepared to parry the blow while gaping wide-eyed in open-mouthed perplexity. Suddenly a sharp snap resounded behind the frothing shaman. The scimitar, halfway through its fatal sweep, dropped from the quivering, nerveless hand, clattering harmlessly to the stonage. Cutting his screech short with a bubbling, red-mouthed gurgle, the lacerated acolyte staggered under the pressure of released springboard. After a moment of hopeless struggling, the shaman buckled, sprawling face down in a widening pool of blood and entrails, his regal purple robe blending enhancingly with the swirling streams of crimson.
Perfect, I thought I killed a lot of the dogs.
muttered Grigner in a half apathetic state.
Nay, Grigner, you doubtlessly grew careless while giving vent to your lusts. But let's not tarry long, lest we overtax the fates. The path leading to freedom will soon be barred. No close parentheses or close quotation.
Yeah, well, if the wench continues talking in the next paragraph, so...
Oh, sorry. The wretch's cries must have certainly had attracted unwanted attention.
The wench mused.
But what the rest of it gets situated afraid?
Up that stair and down the corridor, a short distance is a concealed entrance to a tunnel seldom used by others other than the prince, and known to few others save the palace's royalty. It is used mainly by the prince when he wishes to take leave of the palace in secret. It is not always in the best prince's interest to leave his chateau in public view. Even while under heavy guard, he is often assaulted by hurling stones and rotting fruits. The commoners have little love for him.
Lectured the near lady.
Near lady? What? Is that a new pronoun? What is this?
It's the near lady.
It's the near lady, the lady of silly me.
It's amazing they would ever let a pig like him make a the place of the ruler. I should imagine that people will rise up and crucify him like the dog he is.
Alas, Grigner, it's not as simple as that. His soldiers are all paid well by him, so as long as he keeps their wages up, they will carry out his damned wishes. The crude implements of the common folk would never stand up to an onslaught of forged blades and protective armor. They would be going to their own slaughter.
Stated Carthena to a confused but angered Grigner as they topped the stairway.
Yet how can they live to bear under such a weapon? I sooner die beneath the sword than live under such a dog's command.
Added Grigner as the pair stalked down the hall in the direction opposite that which Grigner had come.
But all men are not the same mold that you are born from. They choose to live as they sow, to save their filthy necks from the chopping block.
Returned Carthena in a disgusted tone as she cast an apprised glance towards the stalwart figure at her side. His left arm was wound dexterously about her slim waist. His slowly waning torch-casting walling... What?
What?
Oh, I skipped a line. His slowly waning torch casting their images in intermingling wisps as it dangled from his left hand.
Saucy.
Presently, Carthena came upon a panel concealed amongst the other granite slabs and discernible only by the burned-out crescent above it.
As I pushed the... I thought she said gush for a second. As I pushed the crescent aside, pushing the panel inwards...
Katarina motioned to a panel she was referring to and twisted the crescent in a counterclockwise motion. Grigner braced his right shoulder against the walling, concentrating the force of his bulk against it. The slab gradually slung inwards with a slight grating sound. Carthena stopped beneath Grigner's corded arms, crawled upon all fours into the passage beyond. Grigner followed after easing the slab back into place. Winding before the pair was a dark, musty tunnel, exhibiting tangled spider webs from its ceiling to wall and oozing sickly slime running lazily upon the floor. Hanging from the chipped wall upon Grigner's right side was half-mouldered corpse, its gray flacking arms held in place by rusted iron manacles. Carthena flinched back to Grigner's arms at the sight, with the leering set in an ugly, distorted grimace, staring horribly at her from the hollow, gaping sockets.
This alcove must be by...
No, this is Grigner.
This alcove must be used by Agatha as a torture chamber. I wonder how many of his enemies who disappeared at his own still to be heard from again.
Pondered the hulking group.
Let us flee afore we are caught within Agathim's ghastly clutches. The exit to this tunnel can be not far from here. Squatala, we're off!
Said Carthena with a slight sob to her voice, as she sagged in Grigner's encompassing embrace.
I'll be best for to be very in the corridor as soon as possible, but why do you flinch from the sight of death so? Miffed! I've seen much deathness there without exhibiting much emotions.
Exclaimed Grigner as he led her trembling form along dingy confine.
The man hanging from the wall was Daytona!
It's Doyanta. Doyanta, Spider.
Daytona! Doyanta! He had committed the folly of showing his affections to me in front of Agathim. He never meant any harm by his actions.
At this, Carthena broke into a slow, steady whimpering, chalking her voice with gasping sobs.
There was never anything between us. This to him, the beast. Made the demons of hell's deepest heart claw away at his wicked flesh with his merciless ask crosses myself.
She prayed.
I detected there felt more of it as far as you wish to let on. But enough of this. We can talk on such matters as we are free to do so.
Sorry.
With this, Grigner lifted the grieved female to her feet and strode onward down the corridor, supporting the bulk of her weight with his surging left arm. Presently, a dim light was perceptibly filtering into the tunnel, casting a dim reddish hue upon the moldy wall of the passage's grim confines. Carthena had ceased her whimpering and partially regained her composure.
The tunnel's end must be nearing. Rays of sunlight are beginning to seep into ellipses.
Grigner clammied his right hand over Carthena's mouth with a slight struggle, pulled her over to the shadows at the right-hand wall of the path, while at the same time thrusting this torch beneath an overhanging stone to smother its flickering
Be
rays.
silent. I can hear the footfalls approaching this tunnel.
Growled Grigner in a hushed tone.
Oh, did you hear the horses crowd at the far end of the tunnel? It is a sign that we are further nearing our goal.
She stated.
All you hear is less than I hear. I heard footsteps coming toward us. Silence yourself, Wen, so then we find out whom we're being brought into contact with. I doubt that any would have thought, as of yet, they're searching this passage for us. This advantage of surprise will be on our side.
Grigner warned. Carthena cast her eyes downward and ceased any further pursuit towards conversation, an irritating habit in which she'd gained an amazing proficiency. Two figures came. I feel like he's not writing about the character.
That's so fucking funny.
Two figures came into the pair's view from around a turn in the tunnel. They were clothed in rich, luxuriant silks and rambling on in conversation while ignorant of their crouching foes waiting in an ambush ahead.
That barbarian dog is clinging beneath the weight of the lash at this very moment, sire. He should cause no more disturbance.
Fine, so it is that any who dare cast the cross of Sargon's chosen one, said the two-ekined man.
I like how he just changes it to Sargon halfway through the story.
But the peasants are
Showing signs of a growing unrest. They complain that they cannot feel feet their families were burdened
It's a
with
Freudian slip.
Sorry, I got it in a minute. They cannot feed their families were burdened with your taxes. I shall teach those sluts the meaning of humility. Order an immediate increase upon their taxes. They dared to question my sovereign authority. Aha! They shall soon learn what true oppression can be. I will, ellipses.
A shadowed bulk leapt from behind a jutting promontory as it brought down a double-edged axe with the sped of a striking thought. One of the nobles sagged lifeless to the ground, a skull split to the teeth. Grigner gasped as he observed the bisected face set in leering death agonies. It was Agaphant, the dead man's comrade, having recovered from the shock, drew a jewel-encrusted dagger. Is it Agaphant the...
Yeah. Didn't he die?
Advisor?
Yeah, I thought he
Didn't
died.
already die?
Yeah, I thought he
Hell
died.
yes. Hell fuck, I'm telling you, this has got to be intentional. The dead man's comrade, having recovered from his shock, drew a jewel-encrusted dagger from beneath the folds of his robe and lunged towards the barbarian's back. Grigner spun at the sound from behind and smashed down his crimson axe once more. His antagonist lunged, howling to a stream of stagnant green water, grasping a spouting stump that had once been a wrist. Grigner raised his axe over his head and prepared to finish the incomplete job, but was deterred halfway through his lunge by a frenzied screech from behind. Grigner leapt to the head of the writhing figure, plunging a smoldering torch into the agonized face. The howls increased in their horrid intensity, stifled by the sizzling of roasting flesh, and died down until the man was reduced to a blubbering mass of squirming, insensate flesh. Grigner advanced to Carthena's side, wincing slightly from the putrid aroma of charred flesh that rose in a puff of thick white smog throughout the chamber. Carthena reeled slightly. staring dazzledly downward at her
Dazzledly.
gruesome handiwork.
I had to do it. It was Agathim. I had to do it. I had to do
She
it to him.
exclaimed.
I had to do it to him. Hit the gritty.
I like how the king is Agathim and
Wait.
the advisor is Agathond.
Yeah, wait, what? What? I've lost the thread. Sargon should be more careful with the choices of his right-hand man.
Added Grigner, a smug grin upon his lips.
But the hell with Sargon of Akkad for now. The stench is becoming bothersome to me.
With that, Grigner grasped Carthena around his waist, leading her around a bend in the cave and into the open. A ball of feral red was rising through the mists of the eastern horizon, dissipating the slinking shadows of the night. A coral stood before the pair, enclosing 2 grazing mares. Grigner reached into a weighted-down leather pouch dangling at his side and drew forth the scintillant red emerald he had obtained from the bloated idol. Raising it towards the sun, he said,
Oh, we shall do well with it.
Carthena gaped at the gym, gasping in a terrified manner.
The Eye of Argon. Oh, Kala. Oh,
At this, the gym gave off a blinding glow, then dribbled through Grigner's fingers in a slimy red ooze. Grigner stepped back, pushing Carthena behind him. The droplets of slime slowly converged into a pulsating jelly-like mass. A single opening transfixed the blob, forming into a leech-like maw. Then the hideous transgressor of nature flowed through Grigner, a trail of greenish slime lingering
Grigner, no!
behind it. The single gap puckered repeatedly, emanating a ghastly sucking sound.
What is being sucked? They're sucking him!
Grigner spread his legs into a battle stance, stealing his quivering thews for a battle royal with the thing he knew not how to fight. Carthena wound her arms around her protector's neck, mumbling,
get it! Get it! Get it! Get it! Get it! Get it! There's a mouse! Get it! Get it! Get him! Get him!
while her entire body trembled. The thing was almost upon Grigner when he buried his axe into the grisly maw. It passed through the blob and clanged upon the ground. Grigner drew his axe back with a film of yellow-green slime clinging to the blade. The thing was seemingly unaffected. Then it started to sluice up his leg. The hairs upon his napes stewed on end from the slimy feel of the thing's bully bulk. The nauseous sucking sound became louder, and Grigner felt the blood being drawn from his body. With each hiss of hideous pucker, the thing increased in size. Grigner shook his foot about madly in an attempt to dislodge the blob, but it clung like a leech, still feeding upon his rapidly draining life fluid. He had the life fluid. He grasped with his hands, trying to rip it off, but only found his hands entangled in the sticky glue-like substance. Yes, we love getting our hands. This is just like Evangelion. The slimy thing continued its puckering, now having grown the size of Grigner's leg from its vampiric feast. Grigner began to reel and stagger under the blob, his chalk-white face and faltering muscles attesting to the gigantic loss of blood. Carthena slipped from Grigner in a death-like faint, a Moro-chilling scream upon her red rubish lips. In final desperation, Grigner grasped the smoldering torch upon the ground and plunged it into the reeking maw of the travesty. Travestry. A shudder passed through the thing. Grigner felt the blackness closing upon his eyes, but held on with the last ebb of his rapidly waning vitality. He could feel its grip lessening as a hideous gurgle sound erupted from the writhing maw. The jelly-like mass began to bubble like a vat of boiling tar as quivers passed up and down its entire form. And this is where the story ends in the original copies. But a longer ending, much like the Gospel of Mark, a longer ending was found in a different text. And this longer ending continues. With a sloshing plop, the thing fell to the ground, evaporating in a thick scarlet cloud until it reattained its original size. It remained thus for a moment as the puckered maw took the shape of a protruding red eyeball, the pupil of which seemed to unravel before it the tale of creation. how a shapeless mass slithered from the quagmires of the stigmatic pool of time, only to generate into a leprosy of avaricious lust. And that fleeting moment, the grim mystery of life was revealed before Grigner's ensnared gaze. The eyeball's glare turned to a sudden plea of mercy, a plea for the whole of humanity. The blob began to quiver with violent convulsions. The eyeball shattered into 1,000 tiny fragments and evaporated in a curling wisp of scarlet mist. The very ground below the thing began to vibrate and swallow it up with a belch. The thing was gone forever. All that remained was a dark red blotch upon the face of the earth, blotching things out.
Okay, all right, hang on. He may
Shaking his head, his shaggy mane to clear the jumbled fragments of his mind, Grigner tossed the limp female over his shoulder. Mounting one of the disgruntled mares and leading the other, the weary scarred barbarian truded slowly off into the horizon to become a tiny pinpoint in a filtered field of swirling blue mists, leaving the nobles, soldiers, and peasants to replace the missing monarch. Long live the king.
Winner of the J.T. Rickintosh Award for Excellence, shut the fuck up. Shut
Jim.
the fuck up.
Jim Thice.
Okay.
See, this lost ending,
Uh-huh.
I actually doubt, much like the Gospel of Mark, I actually doubt the veracity of this lost ending. I think it was added by a later scribe.
Oh, you think so? Honestly,
I think red blotch upon the face of the earth, blotching things up.
No,
is
blotching
just
things
a little
up.
Too on the
It
nose.
is too on the nose. I think if this now I'm acting under the assumption that this is real and genuine and true and honest. This is like an actual, honest to God attempt at sword and sorcery fiction, and I think this is like a little tongue in cheek because this would if it is like a satire or whatever, this is just tipping its hand too far. But I think it's real. I think it's real. I think this is apocrypha. I think, you know what? It's open to interpretation. Maybe it was all a dream, right? Maybe that's the lost ending. I like that better. Well, what would you rate this out of 10, Oral? What do you think? Do you think it's real? Actual question, do you think it's real?
The lost ending is definitely not real.
I agree. The lost ending.
I think it's a different author. We're doing some textual criticism here. The lost ending is a different author for sure. There are also like more spelling mistakes in this section than there are throughout the. I mean, there are frequent spelling mistakes in the work, but they're very concentrated in the lost ending.
I absolutely agree.
And the multiple exclamation points at the end is also
that's too silly. That's it. This is somebody else. This is some other shit.
This is something else.
This is some Judas at work here. Good work. Okay, here. Pull up 2 minutes. Is this work real? I believe this is real. Before we like rate out and do some stuff, I want to know if we think this is real or not. I really do think this is real. I really, really do think this is really actually true and genuine and honest and all that. Is this like
I'm coming. Yeah, I mean the lost ending is so obviously fake that it makes the rest of it look more real by comparison.
I agree. 200% real. 5,000 repressed homosexual author. I think he is dead. I think he is actually dead, if I'm not mistaken.
Nobody knows who Jim Thice is.
We have like some apocryphal knowledge of him. I went into this completely blind, and there's like a small Wikipedia page that allegedly has his picture? Question mark? I don't know. There's like almost enough information to make me believe he's a real guy, but like I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
It does say Jim Thice 1953 to 2002, so maybe he is dead.
He may in fact be dead. Guy. He was rip guy, man. Rip Roan. He allegedly performed a live reading of the story, and then also allegedly got some mail in response to that, and maybe had some criticisms about like other people's criticisms. And it kind of, you know what he said about it? He straight up said like, I'm never writing again because of just the reaction to this, right? Like he wrote this when he was like a young amateur, and like people made fun of it, and he didn't like that, which is like, yeah, that's actually kind of feels bad. But like also this is its legacy, I think, is more than like 90% of all authors. Like, for real. Think about, like, the legacy of things you have written for, like, school or just in, like, your spare time. Or, like, even if, like, the further we go back, the less we have of it, right? Less we have of, like, writing. And this has, like, actually been, like, a cultural touchstone in this, like, weird little, like, subcultural zeitgeist of, like, the zine scene for so long. I think, honestly, that is commendable. That's what I think about art. I think we can judge the success of art by its impact and its, like, informational footprint on the zeitgeist. That's what I think about art. And I think he has made a much bigger splash than the vast majority of all authors, if I'm being totally honest with you. He was immortalized on Big Dave, CDXX.com, Twitch.tv. Oro, thank you for reading all this. Your throat feels like my throat after a 5-hour-long stream.
My throat is puckering. It's a puckered maw.
It's bad. It's bad. It's just bad. No, you get it. You get it. They get it.
It's worth noting, apparently the Lost Ending was discovered in 2005.
Yeah.
Which is after Jim Tice died.
Yeah, no,
So-
he made that up. He made that up.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
It's definitely not. It's not canon. It's apocryphal. It's some other shit. Any closing thoughts before we raid out? I appreciate each and every last one of you for joining me. This is immensely fun. This was, wow, what a time. What a time to be alive. You're all beautiful. I appreciate all of you for coming out.
Yes, thank you for having me on stream again, Mr. Dave.
Oh, my pleasure.
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big. Mr. Mean One. Mr. Big. Okay, what's this guy's name? Grognir Raid? Whatever. Grigner Raid. Gentlemen, I appreciate you all for coming out. Peace out.